Welcome to another episode of Quick Review, and today in this quick review we're going to take a look at the Earth and its rotation and its revolution. First, let's take a look at the Earth right now, and we know the Earth has an axis that runs right through it. Now, it's not an axis that runs straight down the middle from top to bottom, but it's actually an axis that runs on a tilt. And this axis being on a tilt is the reason why we have our wonderful seasons that we get to enjoy. So we have the Earth and it sits on a tilt, and it's what it's going to do while it's sitting on this tilt. It's kind of like a pivot point, like a center of a merry-go-round. And what it's doing is it's spinning around in a circle like this. It's rotating around itself as it moves around the sun. So it takes about 24 hours to spin around one complete turn. So one complete day for us, we say, is 24 hours. And we measure because it takes that amount of time to spin one complete circle around the Earth's axis. So this is our Earth's rotation. Now let's look at how the Earth revolves around the sun. So I'm going to take our Earth here, and because we know our Earth is definitely not as big as the sun, we're going to shrink our Earth down to about this size. Okay? Then we're going to take our Earth, we'll move it a little bit over to the side here, and we'll bring in our sun. Now our sun, we know, is much bigger than the Earth. So with the Earth, what we'll do is we'll draw it out here. The Earth revolves around the sun. So we say revolving as it goes all the way around from one end to the other. So it moves completely around the sun. And it actually takes about 365 days and 6 hours. Now, the problem with 365 days and 6 hours is this 6 hours throws it off. So to compensate for that, every 4 years we have leap year. And what leap year does is gives us an extra day, which makes up for this 6 hours. 6 times 4 is 24, that's that extra day. Makes up for the extra day that we don't get. So we have the extra leap year period tacked on at the end of February. So the Earth revolves around the sun, okay? And we know the path that it takes is called its orbit. Okay? So we got one more thing to talk about, and this one's actually a pretty easy one to look at. And we're going to look at how the moon revolves around the sun. Because at the same time as the Earth revolves around the sun, we also have our only satellite, the moon, revolving around us. So let's blow our Earth up because we're going to zoom in on our Earth. Take a look at it. And we're going to look at the moon. And now the moon is a little bit smaller than the Earth. It's about a third, maybe a little more than a third, well, actually a little less than a third of the size of the Earth. So the moon is, of course, going to rotate just like the Earth. It's going to go around. It's going to move around the Earth. Okay? And as it moves around the Earth, we'll see the different phases. And we saw that in another video. We talked about the phases. It's going to show us different phases. So it rotates around the Earth. But it rotates around the Earth at every 27.3 days. So every 27.3 days, it moves one complete revolution. So one complete time around the Earth and back to its spot. Okay? Now, the reason why we only see one side of the moon, and that's the side that we say is a man on the moon, or maybe a Swiss cheese, or whatever face or structure that we see. Okay? The reason why we only see this one side of the moon is because as it's spinning around, as it's rotating around the Earth, it's rotating on its axis, because believe it or not, it has an axis as well. Just like the Earth, it has an axis. And it spins around its axis, but it takes 27.3 27.3 days, 27.3 days to spin around once on its axis. And it takes 27.3 days to revolve one complete time. So because it revolves and rotates at the same amount of time, we are stuck looking at the same side of the moon. Which is good, because if we looked at the other side, we would see a gigantic crater, and maybe it looked like an eye to us. So thank you guys for taking a look at the revolution and rotation of the Earth, the Moon, around the Sun, and around the Moon. Thank you around the Earth. Thank you guys. Check out our next videos. Later.